Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bailey, Mr. Bateman, Mr. Blair,
Here.
Mr. Hart,
Here.
Mr. Ori,
Here.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Here.
Mr. Ping.
Here.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Move to excuse Mr. Bateman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Welcome, everyone. With us tonight, we have our Director of Finance, Mark Medler, Assistant City Manager Corey Wright, Clerk of Council Misty Clark, City Manager Dave Kennedy, City Solicitor Joe Braun, Chief of Police Michael Gabrielson, esteemed members of our Loveland Sims Fire Department, we'll be hearing from soon, former council members Todd Osborne and Pat Mays. So welcome. So first we have Bruce Hawk, LSFD Executive Officer.
Good evening, Mayor Bailey, members of council, and the community members. We're happy to report that the Loveland Sims Fire Department has earned accreditation status with the Commission on Fire Accreditation International for meeting the criteria established through the accreditation program. By earning reaccreditation status, the Loveland Sims Fire Department joins just over 300 fire departments throughout the world to achieve internationally accredited agency status with the CFAI and the Center for Public Safety Excellence. CFAI is dedicated to assisting fire and emergency service agencies throughout the world in achieving excellence through self-assessment and accreditation to provide continuous quality improvement and the enhancement of the service delivery to their communities. The CFAI process is voluntary and provides an agency with an improvement model to assess their service delivery and performance internally, and then works with a team of peers from other agencies to evaluate their completed self-assessment. We'd like to thank the community and elected officials for their continued support of the Loveland Sims Fire Department, and we'd like to present this accreditation plaque to the City of Loveland.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. You want to do a picture now, or should we wait till after the next one? Then we'll do both at the same.
So second up, we have Deputy Chief Fry, who's going to make some remarks about some recognition of one of our members.
Just as a follow-up to that, congratulations. We're all very proud of our fire department, and that we know how hard you work to obtain that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Bailey, City Council members. Last month, Captain Aaron Berg of our Northeast Communications went down south to Nashville, Tennessee to represent our communications center at an annual conference, APCO conference, which is the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials. While he was there, our dispatch center and dispatchers were recognized nationally by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for our recent partnership in Missing Kids Readiness Program. Northeast Communications took part in meeting the essential training and policy elements, demonstrating preparedness for responding to a missing child incident. We want to recognize Captain Berg and his team for a job well done and always being ready at our Northeast Communications Center.
Just a quick piece of information about this program. This program is offered free of charge to all 911 centers in the country through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. However, there are currently only 8 communication centers in the state of Ohio that have completed this program. We are one of 8 out of the approximately 325 911 centers across the state. The closest to us is Hamilton County. The next closest to us is the city of Dublin, just outside of Columbus. So I hope that this becomes more widespread, but so far I'm very proud of our dispatchers and thankful that I've been able to represent them both at the national level and now here locally with our receipt of this award through NECMEC.
Yes.
Just a question, Captain Berg. Can you talk a little bit about the curriculum that you participated in?
Yeah, so it's an entirely online curriculum at the moment that they had in-person courses before COVID. During COVID, it all went online, and currently it still is. There are 4 different levels. One level is just an introduction to missing child and exploited children incidents in general for public safety. The second, that also had to be completed by all of our 911 dispatchers, is specific to the 911 dispatcher's role in obtaining, specific types of information and getting resources that maybe we don't have locally, like a drone program or a canine if ours is not on duty, aviation support potentially from the State Highway Patrol, things like that. The next level up had to be completed by all of our supervisory and training staff that had to do with the same types of information as the first 2, but also the trainer's role in making sure that all of the dispatchers that they train or supervise are in compliance with the standards set forth by NCMEC. The fourth one that I had to complete is the agency's executive. That has to do with writing of policies. There is a policy development element to this as well. So we wrote the policy. The dispatchers completed the training online. All of the dispatchers, all of the modules they had to do. We sent our policy and procedure to NCMEC, and they verified it against their standard for handling such incidents to make sure it was in compliance. Once it was determined that it was, that we were officially partners in the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments or questions? I would just say you certainly don't have this department rest on your laurels, and that is to the benefit of this community. And we are very honored and lucky that we have a department that is always striving for new levels of excellence. So thank you very much.
Well, we appreciate the support that we get from everybody up on the dais, and along with everybody out here in the room, and our Sims Township counterparts as well. Thank you.
Congratulations again. Picture time.
Sure. Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks for being here this morning. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. You get this upstairs?
We have one more.
Vice Mayor? Taking it back.
Taking it back, all right.
Please pick up. There you go. Much better. Okay, open forum. First to speak is Pat Mays.
We are such a cool city. Good evening. My name is Pat Mays. I live at 1126 Cottonwood Drive in Loveland. You know, I love doing family history, mine and others. I've helped several people find their biological parents through adoption. A big part of this is walking, visiting, and exploring cemeteries. And as a member of Ancestry for over 15 years and find a grave for about the same, this becomes obsessive. I had received a request on Find a Grave for graves at the Hill Wagner Cemetery. I had not been there before, but was shocked and very disappointed today at how it is being kept, or better yet, unkept. Loveland, as much pride as it has in its history, this is disgraceful. The earliest burial there was in 1803, John Hill, a Revolutionary War hero, and the last burial was in 1883. I am to understand that this is still an active cemetery, but only 58% of it has been documented. It's grown up with weeds, historical stones are down, and disrepair and dirty. Not to mention, this is so disrespectful. It's also not accessible. There's no signage, and it's within feet of the condos being built there. It is city-owned property, and there is no access to it whatsoever or signage. So, who has the records from these burials? Who's the sexton, the caretaker? Where can open graves still be sold? Who benefits from this? I would ask the city to form a committee for the distinct preservation and upkeep using the standards that Arlington Cemetery uses. And they are from the Cemetery Conservators of the United States. We helped the family of the Paxton Cemetery. Please get on board with a present for the presentation of this cemetery before it's gone like the McKinney Apgar Cemetery. I would gladly be happy to serve on a committee. I understand we have a historical preservation committee, but this will require, in my opinion, way more than they're up to. So thank you for your service and commitment. I hope we can do something about this sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mays. Mr. Kennedy, did you want to address that?
Joe and actually Corey recently, ever since it was a student that took on cleaning up the cemetery back in as part of his Eagle Scout project, which I've seen probably 20 Eagle Scout projects in my 9 years. One of the most aggressive Eagle Scout projects, and there was access to be created by Joe Ferrugi through the Blossom Hill development. The problem that we've had is trying to create an entity that can take on donations, can oversee the renovation, because technically we don't really know who owns it. Joe Braun has been actually pro bono helping out to get. The key is to figure out a way to get access so it's not a parcel with no access somehow back to, at one point in time, it had access all the way back out to 48. So, yeah, I mean, it's not from lack of effort, it's from probably heavy complexity to it. But we'll circle back with Joe again tomorrow. Like I said, Joe has been donating his time to try to help with this. Corey jumped in on it as soon as he started working for the city. So we'll circle together, Pat, and if we need to reach out to you to put together a committee. But to be honest with you, the way we were reading it is that we don't know that the city actually owns it. And then the question is, well, does it go back to Hamilton Township, because townships are sort of formed in the beginning of time. Townships were formed as to oversee cemeteries. So there is a bit of a question on whether or not we even own the property. And the thought was the best way to do this would be to create a bit of a board of directors, create a quasi organization that could actually take donations, that could oversee this organization. Creating that is, I don't want to go into a whole lot of details because Joe's been spending a lot of time on, but Pat, let me circle us all back together, and we'll reach out. One of the three of us will reach back out to you.
That if the city does go up there to provide speech or do anything, please don't use weed eaters around those headstones.
Yeah.
They're very fragile and they really need special care to be lifted, dug up, and put back together, and not to constantly see them wet.
Yes, we actually worked with the student to get some of the bigger trees removed out of there, that the contractor allowed us to move onto his property. So there were some monster trees that had to come down that were going to go on headstones. That student, I don't want to mention his name, but that was a massive project that he took on. I'm sorry, I'm not mentioning his name because I can't remember what it was exactly. But again, we do about 2 or 3 Eagle Scout projects a year times 9 years. That was one of the most aggressive ones we've ever done. And his dad is leading the charge to work with Joe and to come up with this process.
Mr. Braun?
Yeah, the other thing I would add, it does appear that it belongs to Hamilton Township in the city of Loveland. And the only way to access that parcel is through the city of Loveland. And there's no other way that trucks could get back there to do the maintenance. And I actually reached out to legal counsel for Hamilton Township about this issue. Corey and I have been working on it this is kind of a project that we work on and then it kind of trails off, and then we work on it and it trails off, mainly because we run into either a dead end or a lack of communication of anyone wanting to step up and take responsibility. And there's a big issue about liability and who is responsible for the maintenance, the upkeep, the issue we're talking about, damaging cranes. And there's issues of doing it the right way so they don't engage in any desecration. So the only thing I can tell you, it is a long-term project for Corey and I, and we're working on it. And I'm happy to know there's someone else that took notice of it besides us.
All right.
That is one of the ideas we had, and so we're looking at it. But I welcome you to the club because we're looking.
All right, so we appreciate you bringing it back to our attention, and I mean this is a site actually that has been designated a historic site by our Historic Preservation Commission. So I remember reading the history of it about a year ago. So it is an awesome site, and I agree. We need to figure out a long-term solution to this. So we're on it. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. All right, Kaya Bergen.
Good evening, everyone. I am Kaya Bergen. Thank you so much for pronouncing it correctly. I am the branch manager of the Loveland Branch Library. Yes. I'm here to invite everyone to our Customer Appreciation Day that we are having October 9th. That is a Monday, and we're having it all day, 10 to 6. We will have a Looney Balloony, if you're familiar with them. They make fantastic balloon creations. We'll have a selfie station. We'll have an ultimate scavenger hunt, if you're into doing those. We'll have demonstrations in our maker space for people to take part in. So I hope to see you all next Monday in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, next is review and approval of minutes from the September 12th, 2023 meeting. Are there any additions or changes? We have a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right, next is the second reading of an ordinance. Can you go ahead and read the ordinance?
Ordinance amending section 111.02G of the Loveland Code of Ordinances establishing the water main replacement fee.
All right, is there any comment on the ordinance before we vote? Mr. Ping?
Just a quick comment to echo some of the things that were said last time we had the reading on this. In a time when there's a lot of cynicism and doubt of government, I think it's a very positive and exciting thing that our city manager brought this to the attention and that we're making this change, because this is the kind of thing that I think upsets people, is when it's not done properly. And this reduction in fees is when there's not a necessity, is an exact example of how it should work. So I applaud Mr. Kennedy for bringing it to our attention. I'm glad we have an opportunity to do this.
Thank you. Any further comment? All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Ordinance 94 is adopted by a vote of 6-0.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, do you have a further explanation on this resolution?
Working with Councilmember Ping and Vice Mayor Phelps and a few other council members, we modified the boundaries of the DORA, largely avoiding large parking areas, large residential areas, but still touching the vast majority of all downtown retail businesses. This, again, is easy to modify, but we also did take into effect future usage. So I think this line accommodates everyone, factors in some potential development across from the current fire station, current mobile station, includes the fire station, and I think it meets all of the goals.
All right, is there any comment on the new DORA boundaries? Yes, Mr.
Just
Hart?
a quick question. Can we add like temporary areas, like if we wanted to include the parking lot for a festival or something?
Could
would
we
be a
include
separate.
that temporarily for an event?
Yeah, if let's just say the chamber was doing an event there, they would simply apply for a permit for the liquor control. Then the city, as the property owner, we do this fairly well. We not as often now because we're Dora, but then we sign approving it. It's a really simple process.
Yeah.
So if there's an event in the Cox lot, if there's an event in the future parking lot, like a big art festival, and they want the ability for people to have a cocktail, they can apply for a permit and the city would sign off on it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Any further comment or questions? Yes, Vice Mayor.
I would just say thanks to the city manager for hearing us out, and you were very responsive, and I think this is a great improvement. Appreciate the work on it. Mr. Ping as well.
Anyone else? All right, you can read the resolution.
Resolution amending the city's designated outdoor refreshment area boundaries.
All right, any comment on the resolution itself? Call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Resolution 95 is adopted by a vote of 6-0.
Right, there are various reports and minutes. Any comments on those? All right, under City Council reports, I do have announcements. The Loveland Sustainability Council will host their annual one-stop drop on October 7th from 1 to 4. It is free and is an easy way to drop off reusable, recyclable items. Visit the city website, lovelandoh.gov, to see a list of acceptable items and drop locations. The Loveland Sims Community Firefighters Association will hold its annual Kid Fest on Saturday, October 7th from 2 to 4. It is a change in location. It'll be at the East Loveland Nature Preserve. This is free. There will be inflatables, games, trick-or-treating, hot dogs, drinks, and fun for kids of all ages. The Loveland Police Department will host a Faith and Blue service at Prince of Peace Lutheran Church on Sunday, October 8th at 10:30. Faith and Blue Weekend is a national event with activities in communities across the country that bring together law enforcement and residents to build connections, create mutual understanding, and enhance justice and reconciliation. Activities such as the service provide the setting to form meaningful connections between the public and law enforcement. The service will be led by LPD's chaplains Jonathan Eilert and Philip Spence. And LPD would like to invite the community, current and former officers, and officers' families to the service. Public Works will begin fall brush collection on October 9th. Details are on the city's website. And the Loveland Sims Fire Department invites you to a fire safety open house on October 9th from 6 to 8 at the Sims Safety Center, 8871 Weekly Lane. The event will include safety talks, a bounce house, fire truck tours, vehicles from the Sheriff's Department, and food and drink. Does anyone else have any other announcements? All right, we did have an executive session. We do not. Do we need to do anything? Nope. All right, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
1 minute.